Sairam, continuing our session on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, sloka number 59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vibhaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasavam manaha tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashaihi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita dhyayato vishayan pumsas sanghasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati samoha samohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshat buddhi vinaso buddhinasat pranashyati. Sloka number 59. Vishaja vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Vishayaha vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam raso api asya param drishtva nivartate. Prose order. Niraharasya dehinaha vishayaha vinivartante rasavarjam param drishtva rasopi asya nivartate. Bhagavan continues his advice to Arjuna to look at from the Sankhya Yoga point of view, the spiritual aspect of it. He is in the next couple of slokas paying attention to the sense organs and their effect on the human beings. In a nutshell, his advice is control your sense organs, don't allow them to drift your mind as they like. On the other hand, let the mind control the sense organs and concentrate on the Lord. Niraharasya, the person who abstains from getting involved in the sense organ pulse, one who is not attracted by the sense organs. 3 more legislatives. Niraharasya, of the abstinent person, of the person who has controlled himself, his senses, dehinaha, of the man, vishayaha, the object of the sense organs. Vishayaha means the object of the sense organs. What is the object of the sense organ? Tongue is your sense organ. The tongue is attracted by a sweet. So the sweet is the object of the sense organ. Eye is a sense organ. The eye is tempted to see obscene scenes in the TV. So that is the sense object. Vishayaha. So, niraharasya dehinaha, for a person who has controlled his senses, sense organs, the sense organ objects vinivartante, they turn away from attracting him. But he might have controlled his sense organs from getting attracted by the sense objects. But still there will be some lingering attraction of that object to his sense organs. He has only physically, forcibly controlled it. Therefore, inside him there will still be a desire, a longing. That is rasavarjam. Rasavarjam, that longing for the senses, sense objects, asya, of this man, rasaha api. Rasaha is that temptation, longing, taste. That lingering taste in his heart for that particular object, even that, param drishva, on seeing the Lord, meaning on his concentration on the Lord and becoming one with the Lord in his mental process, nivartate, they turn away. Let me explain this. Very often we control ourselves. We see a switch. I am a diabetic patient. I am not supposed to take sweets. The sweet is so tempting, mouth-watering sweets. So, that sweet attracts my tongue to come and taste it. What do? I take a firm stand and control my tongue. Look, I am having diabetes, don't get tempted. All right, for the present, the tongue keeps quiet, you are not taking the sweet. But still the thought, that desire to eat is lingering in your mind. And that is dangerous, because at one weak moment, it will take the upper hand and make you eat and make you suffer. The Lord says, if you concentrate, if you focus your mind on the Lord, then the mind will so absorbed on the Lord and Lord only, it will not yield to the pull of the sense objects. The sweet cannot attract the tongue to eat it. The longing, desire in the heart also will vanish. So what is required? Number one, control your sense organs from the sense objects. Number two, turn that mind towards the God and be concentrated on the God. We'll talk about it a little later, a little more. Moving on, shloka number 60. Yatato hyapi konteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Yatataha hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Prosada, he kaunteya pramathini indriyani yatataha hi api vipaschitaha purushasya manaha prasabam haranti. He Kaunteya, son of Kunti. Why he called son of Kunti? Kunti was firm and determined in her devotion to Krishna. So being her son, you also be like that, O Kaunteya. Pramathini indriyani. Pramathini, turbulence, turbulent, those which are highly agitated, those which are trying their level best to attract your sense organs. That forceful, turbulent, indriyani, the senses. So the senses, when they are being attracted by the sense organs, are under a terrible pressure to yield, to succumb to the sense objects, vishaya. So those indriya, pramathini indriyani, the turbulent senses, yatataha hi api purushasya, yatataha, one who is trying. We saw just now, the bhakta is striving to concentrate on the Lord and suppressing his sense organs from getting attracted by the sense objects. So he is a yatataha, one who is making attempt, one who is trying. Yatataha hi api, even the one who is trying, who is that? Vipaschitaha purushasya. Vipaschitaha, wise. A person who knows the implications of getting yielded to the temptation of the sense objects. That wise person, purushasya, manaha, mind, prasabam, violently, haranti, carry away. These sense objects are trying their level best to attract the sense organs to consume them. Upanishad calls this as a grahanam. In grahana, what you see? One planet completely captures another planet, meaning thereby it overpowers, makes it invisible. In the same way here, there is a grahanam. By the sense vishayas, objects of the sense organs, sense taste, hearing, sight, etc., etc. So those sense vishayas do not accept defeat that easily. They continue to strive. They continue to attract the sense organs. Sometime or the other, at a weak moment, that sense organ will get tempted. Therefore, it continues that attraction. But what about the man? He is trying his best to control the sense organs. So there are two forces working here. One force, the mind of the wise person trying to control the sense organs away from the sense vishayas, objects. On the other side, what is the force? Those sense objects do not accept control. They are trying to tempt the sense organs. So what happens? The sense organs are under stress. From one side, the sense objects are trying to attract them. From the other side, the wise person's wisdom trying to control them. So it is turbulent condition. Pramatini indriyani. What happens? Finally, the sense objects are so strong that they carry away the mind. The man who is trying to control it using his mind, the mind lets down the attempt. It becomes weak and it gets defeated. So, what is the means to subdue the senses? How are you going to control it? Next sloka answers that. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vasehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vasehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. So if this person, he is not an ordinary person, we saw earlier, vipaschitasya, vipaschitaha purushaha, tasya, a very wise man he is trying his level best to control, but the objects take over and they carry away the mind. Then how are you going to control it? How are you going to subdue the senses? What is the methodology? Bhagavan says, Tani sarvani samyamya, restraining all those sense organs, matparaha yukta asita, pay attention to me, concentrate on me, and sit in concentration or meditation over me. Tasya, for that man, Indriyani, the sense organs, Vasehi, definitely will come under control. Tasya prajna pratishtita. For such a man, his awareness, his consciousness, his determination is established. Or in other words, I said earlier, two forces act on the sense organs. One force is the outside force which attracts sense objects, which attracts. One is the sense objects which attract. On the other hand, there is a control effort made by the vipassitaha purushaha, the wise person. So there is a conflict felt by the sense organs, pramathini indriyani. So what do you do? How do you get out of this conflict between two pulling forces, counter pulling forces? Bhagavan says, look, not only control your organs, but turn them towards me. The thought, turn towards me. The seeing, look at the vigraha or photo of the Lord. The ears, hear some pravachan or a discourse. The touch, do abhishekam to the murti. So, using your indriyas, you concentrate physically, forcibly on me. Then what happens? The indriyas can no longer be attracted by the objects. So the Lord says here, Matparaha Tani Sarvani Indriyani Samyavya Yukta Asita, controlling all your sense organs, concentrating on me, sit in meditation. When you do that, then automatically Indriyani Tasya Vashe Bhavanti. The sense organs will come under his control. Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. Such a man is called a controlled personality. He is a yogi who has brought all the senses under subjugation of the mind. Moving on, sloka number 62. 62, yes. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sanghasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate. I'll take 62 and 63 together. Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramsat buddhinasho buddhinasat pranashyati. Dhyayato vishayane pumsaha sangaha teshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodha abhijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramsat buddhinasah buddhinasat pranashyati. Bhagavan very, very sequentially explains to us what is the methodology, the Vishayas capture your sense organs. Beautifully he brings out here in these two slokas, Vishayane dhyayate pumsaha. Pumsaha, the Purusha, the man, the human being. Vishayane dhyayate, keeps thinking of the sense objects. I told you just now an example. A diabetes patient has to avoid sweets, so he is attempting to avoid the sweets. But at the same time, there is a lingering desire in his mind, I should eat that sweet. Ice cream is so tempting. So, such a man, what happens to him? What is he doing? Pumsaha Vishayane Dhyayataha. He is still thinking of those sense objects. There is a lingering desire, lingering attraction in him towards the sweet which is prohibited for him. By such association of the mind, the lingering of the mind over the sense objects, what happens? Sangaha teshu upajayate. An attachment develops. When you keep thinking about something, you tend to develop an attachment. If it is a person, you want to be friendly. If it is a girl, you want to marry her. If it is a child, you want to be close to that child. If it is a person, you want to befriend that person. That is, you want to get attached. If it is a sweet, you want to eat it. If it is a program, you want to see it. All these are attractions. So, when a person has a lingering thought of some sense object, then over a time of brooding over it, thinking over it, lingering desiring of it, an attachment develops. That is the starting point. Teshu sangaha upajayate. In those sense objects, teshu sangaha attachment upajayate develops. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Over a period of time, when you are getting attached to something, you develop a desire, a fondness, an interest to consume it, an interest to possess it, an interest to hold it, a desire, kamaha. Sangat, by that attachment, kamaha sanjayate, a desire is born. Samyak jayati iti sanjayate. Kamat krodhaha abhijayate. What is the next step? Because of that kama now, an anger comes. An anger develops. Why? Two things can happen. You have a kama for a particular item or a person. You are able to succeed it, good enough. You are happy momentarily, but then you want to achieve a little more of that. That you are not able to do it. Therefore, you become frustrated, and frustration leads to anger. That is what is meant by kamat krodho abhijayate. From the desire which you have generated within yourself arises anger out of frustration. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. From that anger, next step what happens? Samoha, that is a delusion, a maya occurs. Samohat smriti vibhramaha. That is, you develop an attachment, you therefore get a desire to own it. You are not able to own it, therefore an anger comes. And once the anger comes, you get the delusion that somehow or the other I will have it. So you will do things which are not advisable also, which are not legal also, which are not advisable from the point of view of health also, whatever it may be, depending upon the Vishaya object. So that is samoha, a delusion, a false impression, decision, determination to hold it, to own it. And once that comes, samohat smriti vibhramaha. Vibhrama, forgetting. Smriti, the proper action, the good ideas which you are required to follow. You forget that you are not expected to do certain things. You will do anything in order to get it because you are so much deluded. Maya apahrita chetasaha. You have been captured by the Maya to somehow or the other to own it, which you are not able to get it and for which you have got angry. You say nothing doing, I am going to get it, to hell with it. By right means or wrong means, I must get it. That is called Smriti Vibhramaha. Smriti Bhramsat, by so losing the following of the correct step, what happens? Smriti Bhramsate, from the loss of memory of the right action to do, Buddhinasaha, your intelligence is taken for a 6. You lose even your buddhi. Why? Because the temptation and attraction to own it, to have it, to enjoy it is so strong that you are prepared to break all the laws and achieve your aim. So what happens to your buddhi? Your buddhi is gone. If the buddhi is there, they will say, don't do it. It is wrong. But now you are doing it. It means your buddhi is finished. Buddhi nasat pranashyati. So once your intellect goes and you act on the whims born out of a delusion, out of an anger, the end is you yourself get perished. A number of examples I will give you. From that you will be able to understand it still better. A man is going to the office. While going on to the office, some figure by their movement attracts. And he doesn't pay much attention because the first day he saw, oh, somebody going. Nice, the way of walk is very good. That's all. That person is gone, your thought is also gone. Next day, the same time, the same person, the same movement, both of you going together. Again, the same attractive walk, the graceful look. So you stop a minute and have a look at that person. That's a woman who is probably going in a burqa. And the way the feminine gender walks, it attracts the man. So he stares at that person. It continues for a few days. Then he makes an attempt to approach her and talk a few words. And then he enjoys her company. Then what happens in the meantime? Another man is seen with that lady one day. Immediately you get angry. You have come to think that lady is your possession. Now you find someone else with that person. Therefore, you get angry. When you get angry, you get into a quarrel with that other person. She is mine, why are you befriending her? He says, no, she is mine, why are you coming in the way? So over that lady, both the fellows are fighting. Let's look back to what we studied so far. Casual look is equivalent to just a flickering attraction of a person. First day. Second day, third day repeated. Therefore, the flickering becomes constant, stationary attraction. Fifth day, you take your courage and go and say hello. What happens? From Vishayan dhyayate sangaha upajayate. And when you say hello, you get a response and the talk continues. Over a period of time, a love is born. I won't even call it love, an attraction. is arising between the two, or not even between the two, in your mind towards that girl. Kamaha sanjayate. And when that kama is continuing for a few days, you find another man and you get angry. She is mine, I am trying to befriend her, why is somebody else trying to do it? You forget you don't have a right over that person. If you have a right, the other person also has equally the same right. You forget it. You get angry. And once you get angry, then you say, to hell with it, I will see to it how he takes her. I will go, I will approach her, I will make her mine. Then you forget, you are a Hindu, she is a Muslim. There are going to be objections, and it is not all that easy. No, nothing comes to your mind. Smriti Vibhramaha. You have got one steadfast attachment and anger because that attachment is not getting fulfilled. You are not prepared to use your intelligence to think of the consequences. Whether your attraction is returned by the other party or not, even that you are not thought of. You say, I like it, therefore I want it. That's all. What happens to your intellect? Gone for a 6. Smriti Brahmsat Buddhi Nasaha. And when your brain is lost, your intelligence, arguing, logic, every power is lost. You are madly in love with that figure whom you have just said hello, and whom somebody else is approaching. For all that you know, that may be the brother of that girl also. You have not had that much of steady mind to even find out that. You are angry because there is another man with your girl. So the buddhi is lost and you get terribly angry. You pick up a quarrel with that man, and the two are having a fist-to-fist fight, killing each other or hurting each other. Now the police comes and takes both of them. What has happened? A small little flickering attraction has led to your own nasa pranashyati. This is a practical example of that. I'll give another example. There is a beautiful building. In that building, a crack has developed. And a moving bird has put a small people tree's seed into that gap. What happens? That gap initially was nothing. It accepted the seed sprouted, it starts becoming a sapling, it grows into a tree, and the building itself is damaged, broken. Everything started from nothing to a small little samuha. I'll give one more example. There is a holy man. He had his ashram. He used to do meditation and all. And he used to go to the river for his oblations. On the way, there was a house of a prostitute, a harlot prostitute. He saw many people coming and going into that house. Then he called her, he got angry, he called her and said, look, what life are you leading? This is a prohibited way of life. You should not do that. You are very, very impure. Become impure, pure, clear girl, clear lady. And that prostitute also thought about it. She felt bad. Yes, I am spoiling my life and I am also going immoral. So she tried to change herself. But at the same time, she has to live, she has to have an income. So she continued her profession of prostitution. The man really got very angry. Why she is like this? And eventually one day that woman passed away. And as coincidence will have it, the same day the sadhu also passed away. Both of them, their souls were led to Yamadharma Raja, and Yamadharma Raja sent her to heaven and sent him to hell. So he took objection. He said, Yamadharma Raja, you are the Lord of Dharma. Why are you doing this injustice? I was leading an ashrama life and she was a prostitute. Yamadharma said, physically, yes, she was a prostitute. But she had to do it for her living. Otherwise, her mind was devoted towards a God. She was a devotee of the God, but perforce she had to do the prostitution. So, though the mind was polluted, she led a holy life. On the other hand, you are having a holy profession. And what happened to your mind? That is attracted towards this prostitution. They are getting unnecessarily worried about it and all the time keep thinking about her. The thought of the God is gone, the thought of the prostitute has come in your mind. So who is nearer to God? The one who is always thinking about Him. Matparaha Asita, who is sitting always in my thought. He is nearer to me. So he deserves to go to heaven and you deserve to go to hell. In the Bhuloka, what happened? Her body was not cared for, somebody burnt it. Whereas his body was a lot of procession taken and it was given a ceremonial funeral. But the reality was the other way. Why? Because she was able to control her organs and be devoted towards the Lord, though physically the body may be used anywhere. Whereas the holy man, instead of controlling his organs and then say, what difference does it make to me? I have advised her, she follows her own way. Okay, forget it. No. She was brooding over her. All the time his sense organs were on her life. The thought of the holy God was gone. So that is why the controlling of the mind is so important. Control your mind, Arjuna is told by Lord Krishna. In another place, we will come to that, when Krishna is advising control your mind, Arjuna asks a very, very childlike question. You ask me to control the mind, okay, I am trying to control my mind, but my mind is not listening. It keeps on growing, going about different objects. What do I do? Chanchalam hi manak Krishna, he says. My mind is so much in a chanchalam, wariness. Kim kuryat? What can I do? Krishna says, I agree with you. Chanchalam it is, no doubt. But then you should be able to control it by constant practice. And here he says, there is an alternative way. The mind is, Baba, Satya Sai Baba used to give us this example. He used to tell us, the mind is like a monkey. The monkey has always to do something. It cannot sit quiet. It has to jump, it has to hold something, it has to imitate somebody. It has to keep on doing something. So what Baba says is, just like the monkey has to do something or the other, your mind also has to do something or the other. It can't be quiet. It is tending to do the wrong things, isn't it? Just like the monkey is tending to eat the plants and throw it down and all that, wasting it. Instead of that, give it a good job. You pluck a fruit and throw it in a basket. The monkey also will pluck it and throw it in a basket. Like that, the mind which has to do something, give it an alternate job. Turn it towards the God. Baba used to give another example. Your mind is like a lock. You turn it one way, the lock closes, locks. You turn it the other way, the lock opens. Similarly, your mind, turn it one way, it goes toward the worldly attractions. Turn it the other opposite way, it goes toward the spiritual attractions. So, the choice is in your hands. Do you want to turn it towards the right and lock it, or you want to turn it to the left and open it? You want to turn your mind towards the world and suffer from it, or you want to turn it towards God and elevate yourself spiritually? The choice is yours. So you have a choice. So that's what he says in the next sloka. On what should the mind, weaned away from the senses, removed from the senses, distracted from the senses, should be placed? Where should we be placed? The answer comes here. Raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishajanindriyaischaran atma vasyair videyatma prasadamadigacchati. He says, Raga dvesha viyuktaha tu vishayane indriyaihi charane. Raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyais charane. Atma vasyaihi videya atma prasadam adhigacchati. Raga dvesha viyuktaihi. Free from raga, attraction, dvesha, repulsion, hatred. Free from the attraction and repulsion. Too bad, vishayane, the sense objects, indriyahi, with the senses, charane, moving, atma vasyehi, self restrained, atma, self vasyehi, restrained, controlled, videya atma, the atma which is controlled, self-controlled. Prasadam adhigacchati. Adhigacchati, attains. Prasadam here means peace. The prasadam of your spiritual efforts is peace of mind, manashanti. I will tell you the meaning of it. The yogi, we are talking about the yogi, whose mind gets distracted by the Vishayas. What should he do in order to get peace of mind? We have seen the mind has to be given some work or the other. It can't keep quiet. Okay? It is getting attracted by the sense objects, Vishaya. So now, Krishna says, the yogi should remove the sense objects from his mind. Mind has become empty now. Then fill up that mind with the thought of the gods. You know, Bhagavan, Baba used to say, the mind is such which should be always doing some work. Either it should go towards Kama or towards Rama. It has to keep doing something. You can't get it under control straight away. Over a period of time, the thought of the Rama goes on intensifying, and your whole mind is filled with Rama and Rama only, and you have got a complete control over your mind. But to start with what? That is why I say, we as elders in the family should take our children, Jabardasti, initial days when they are still young, when they are still yet to form an opinion, take them to the temple with you. Make them take that prasada tirtha. Make them do the rounds. So that they get into the attraction of the Lord. They don't know, they are got to be guided. So initially do that. Unfortunately, my friends in America have got funny idea. They say, no, we don't interfere with the children. The children should go on their own in. Do you start walking straight away, left, right? Doesn't your mother hold your hand and make you walk when you are a small little infant? Does the mother say, no, let the child learn by itself, let it fall, let it get up? Does it say that? Your own nature says that you have been led by your mother. And then does your father say, let him find out his way in life? No, he guides him, he helps him, he protects him. That initial stages, attention to be paid to the children, unfortunately, is not understood by the parents in America. That they say that, no, that the child has got the individuality, we should not interfere. Let them do what they want, they will come to know it. Wrong argument, I don't agree with. Anyway, so coming here, that's what Baba also says here. When the mind is attracted towards the Kama, you turn it towards the Rama, towards the God. Let them think. You give the initial impulse, impetus, and then it will take on its own. If after some time the child finds it, nothing doing, I am not interested, okay, fair enough. We have nothing to do about it. But the initial action has to be done by the parents. Take your child to the temple. Take your child to a pravachana. A few minutes, then let the child go back. Don't imprison the child for 2 hours. When you do puja, make the child come and sit by your side. Just give a touch to it. That way the child will gradually get attracted to it. It is your duty to guide the child. Yes, you don't have to force later on. If the child doesn't take an interest and wants to go the other way, bad luck. But you must do your job. So that is what here he says. Ragadvesha viyuktaihi tu Vishayana indriyahi charanne. The yogi indriyahi vishayana charanne. With his sense organs he moves about in the sense objects. But he is disciplined. He doesn't allow the mind to come under its control. He gives the initial help to the mind to control itself from the sense objects. Ragadvesha viyuktaihi. Free from the attraction and repulsion of those sense organs, even though he is moving in those sense organs. That is, even though he is subjected to the temptation of the tongue by the Vishaya, that is sweet, the temptation of the ear to hear gossip, that is the Vishaya, the temptation of the touch to not get into contact with prohibited elements, that is the Vishaya, like that. Even though you are in the center of all the attractions, you should be able to hold on your senses according to the right path. If you do like that, automatically you become self-controlled. And once you are self-controlled, no longer the Vishayas can attract you. No longer can the Vishayas create a hatred in you. So that is what it says. Ragadvesha viktaihi tu, those who are free from all the attractions, indriyana vishayana charan api, even though they move around the tempting objects, atma vasyehi videya atma, by controlling one's own self. Here atma refers to the body and the mind. Okay, the gross portion, not the spiritual atma. Okay, prasadam adhigacchati, it attains the peace. The atma, the soul, then attains the peace. I'll give an example here. Ajamila was a great Brahmin, well, very good scholar. He happened to come across a prostitute. Initially, it was just a glance, later on, a look, thirdly, an interest, and fourthly, complete involvement. Everything, all his occupation, all his knowledge, everything he lost. He became overpowered by the attraction of that lady. He spoiled his own life. There is another example I tell you. A person was so much obsessed by a woman. He used to go in the night to her house, but the main entrance he cannot go because people will object, people will see. So he used to take a circuitous path behind the house where the trees were there. There was a rope hanging. He caught hold of the rope and went into the window and jumped into her room. He didn't even know that the rope he thought was a snake. He was so much buddhinasa was there with him. He was not able to control it. But a truly practicing yogi is able to control. For example, Shuka and Vyasa. Shuka used to go from place to place. On the way, there was a water pond in which ladies were taking bath and they were enjoying themselves. They are naked, half naked. And Shuka was a young man. He passed through that. The ladies did not bother. They continued to move up and down in their semi-naked form also. And after some time, Shuka's father Vyasa came. He passed through that place. So when Vyasa passed through that place, all the ladies went into the water, covering themselves. So they were asked a question, why is it when a young man who is more attracted by sensual pleasures, he passed through, you were not bothered. But when a controlled man like family man like Vyasa passed through, you went inside hiding. That is because even though Shuka was a young man, his indriyas, sense organs were completely under his control. He cared a dime for the sex and the sexually tempting ladies. He couldn't care less whether they are dressed up or naked. He never even cast a glance on them. On the other hand, Vyasa, having been in the family life, still has his sense attractions. And if I am to stand naked before him, it will be inviting trouble. Therefore, I had to go in the hiding. So what does it show? It shows that when a man's indriyas are under his control, even though he moves in the middle of the sense attractions, nothing happens to him. His mind is cool like a cucumber. Prasadam adhigacchati. Shloka number 65. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyasu buddhih paryavatishthate. Prasade sarva dukkhanam हानि अस्य उपजायते. प्रसन्न चेतसः हि आशु बुद्धिः परि अवतिष्ठते. Now we saw the previous sloka that with your indriyas under control, even if you move among the tempting organs, nothing will happen to you. Your mind, on the other hand, will become peaceful. Now, what happens when the mind becomes peaceful? When the mind becomes peaceful, the sorrows do not bother, because the mind takes it easy, equally. The grief, the happiness, the sorrow, the suffering, or the enjoyment. Everything is taken easily. The mind is not attracted towards the sense objects to please itself. All the sorrow is destroyed. And that mind, which was exposed to temptations, attractions, raga, dvesha, but which maintained its equanimity, gets fully anchored in equilibrium. Tasya prajna pratishtitaha. Prasade, in peace, sarva dukkhanam, all the pains, hanihi, destruction, asya upajayate, happens to him. Prasanna chetasaha, with the tranquil minded, ashuhu, soon, buddhihi paryavatishtate, his intellect becomes steady. That is, sarva dukkhanam prasanne prasade hanihi upajayate. If he is trying to pacify all the sufferings by yielding to the sense organs, then he will have only destruction. Because getting tempted to eat the sweets, if he goes and eats the sweets, sooner or later his sugar level will increase and he will suffer. But on the other hand, if he controls, even though he is in between those temptations, if he controls, he will have a better health and a better peaceful mind. Prasanna chetasaha. Prasanna here means tranquility, peaceful. You are happy when you are peaceful. When your mind is agitated, you are not happy. Therefore, prasanna, when can you be happy? Only when your mind is tranquil, peaceful, quiet. In that case, what happens? Very soon, ashu paryavatishtate, your buddhi becomes steady. That is, prajna becomes steady, pratithishtati. Prajna pratithishtati. Now, there are certain children who will imagine something wrong and then say, what happens if that happens? I was reminded of a story. I was posted in Secunderabad. We were moving by the car to Venkateshwara Devasthana, which is on a hilltop. So you had to go round and round the hill and a narrow road. I had a friend, a captain. His son, a very naughty boy, asking 100 questions. He asked, Daddy, when we are going on the road like this, if the car slips the road and falls, what will happen? The mind of a child is innocent. Whatever doubt comes to its mind, it asks a question. Similarly here, Arjuna is not innocent, he is ignorant. So he may ask a question, look, you are asking me to control the mind. Suppose I don't control, what will happen? Still again, he has the doubt. What is the harm that will accrue to the mind if I allow the mind to go here and there? The answer to the question comes in the next sloka, number 66. We will take it up in the next class. Sai Ram, all of you.